Good morning and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I both invite and encourage you to walk with me on the road to wisdom. Good morning. Let's walk. Good morning and welcome to my 237th episode of the road to wisdom. With God's help, I'm continuing doing it, and I thank you all for joining with me and walking with me. Today's show is called Wisdom Doesn't Whisper or Mumble. Let me say that one more time. Wisdom doesn't whisper or mumble. Now, the definition of wisdom, according to the biblical context, is the ability to apply truth in a way that serves godly purposes. Let me say that one more time. The definition of wisdom is the ability to apply truth in a way that serves godly purposes. And and like I continue to tell y'all, well, what I will continue to tell y'all, when I pray, I ask God for certain things: wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because as we all know in the Bible, Solomon was the most wisest man ever created, from what I can tell and what I've read in the Bible, if you're a believer. And with all that knowledge and all that wisdom that God gave him, he was able to do great things. He built a temple for God, and he was able to create peace for his people for many, many, many years. Now, of course, he failed because he started letting his uh, worldly ambitions and desires cloud his judgment and the wisdom that God gave him. But before that, Solomon did great things, serve God. The first thing I've read, the first step that I've read in the Bible is the indication that you're going to be wise is that you fear God. A God-fearing man is showing the first steps in becoming wise. If you don't fear God, then you're not wise, you're a fool. But if you are a God-fearing man, that is the first step in the journey to becoming wise. And that comes from the book of Proverbs, the first chapter, seventh verse. Now, a few things wisdom can manifest itself in your life. I want to discuss those. One of the things is, first of all, realize that it's a gift from God. Wisdom is a gift from God. And wisdom can be gained a couple of ways, or three ways. You can get it through studying the word. You can get it through your experience, your life experiences, and you can do it by following God's guidance. Those three things. One of those three ways is a way that you can attain wisdom. You can study and get it that way. You have your life experiences, your experiences with God, the different trials and tribulations that God puts you through, and you learn from them. And also, in addition to that, um, God's teaching. You make sure that you follow His guidelines, and you pray and you commune with Him, and you listen for Him and be obedient. Those are ways that you can gain wisdom. And wisdom is a skill. Second thing, and what wisdom basically it applies knowledge correctly. When God gives you wisdom and you apply it to any life situation, any kind of problem you have in life, you apply it correctly the way that He wants you to, the way that He intends you to do, then that is a form of wisdom. That is a skill that some people have and some people don't have it. So a lot of times God gives us a wisdom, but we apply it incorrectly. That's when He gives you a specific skill, but you use that particular skill, that particular talent to benefit you instead of benefiting Him. That is a waste of your God-given wisdom and talent. A way of life is another way. And it is in the harmony with God's redemptive work and His creative order. When God gives you that particular wisdom, that talent, preaching, singing, you can be a missionary, you can be doing something like what I'm doing now, whatever talent that God gives you to to push forward His word, push forward His purpose, push forward His doctrine, and you are not in harmony with that, when you try to do things your way instead of His way, then that is a form of kind of pushing away the wisdom that He's giving you. But if you do that in tandem, with God, word, his teaching, his doctrine. That's a form of being wise. A lot of people don't do that. They want to, God to give them a particular talent, but they use those talents for ill gains. And wisdom also is a trust exercise. God gives you the ability to trust him, have blind faith when you can't see how anything's going to happen, but you know that if you just trust in God, that things are going to be all right. That's another form of being wise. Um, Unapologetic, blind, total, complete faith is a way of being wise. And living an abundant life, walking in the path of wisdom can lead to an abundant life. When you do things wise, when Solomon did what he's supposed to do, he asked God for more wisdom than anything else. Solomon lived an abundant life. He had riches beyond compare. He had livestock. He had uh, paintings. He had all different kind of things that you could want. He had that when he was using his wisdom for the purposes of God. If God gives you a particular talent, a particular skill set, and you use that in tandem with his direction, his guidance, you are having a very abundant life, more than you could ever want to dream of. I'm going to read today a scripture I want to read from and touch on this from the book of James, the first chapter, the 5th verse, and it reads as follows. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. Let me say that one more time. Book of James, the first chapter, the fifth verse, it reads as follows. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. Ask God. Come there with a clean and calm heart, with a righteous heart, and God will give you what you ask for. But you got to be without reproach. You got to be sincere. You can't be wanting a particular uh, gift or blessing and not be sincere about it. And last but not least, today I want to talk to you. I want to read to you this particular quote, which I think ties all this together, and it coincides with today's topic. Wisdom doesn't whisper or mumble. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. It's pretty much like pride comes before the fall, was the first part that means. But pride leads to disgrace, but with humility, there comes wisdom. And it all leads back to the title. Wisdom doesn't whisper or mumble. When God gives you a particular skill set, when God makes you wise, you may physically whisper to someone to do this, but the knowledge, the wisdom that he gives you will not be wisdom. It'll be so loud, it'll be so direct that people will see from miles around. The Bible said that Solomon was so wise that people came from miles around. I think Prince Bathsheba, if I'm not mistaken, her name came from miles around just to listen to him. The things he talked about, the insects, the planet, the sky, the grass, the economy, painting, all different kind of things Solomon knew about. He had very profound ideas, very profound opinions, very profound conclusions. And it did not whisper. The whole world knew about it. People came from miles around. So wisdom does not whisper. If you're a truly wise person, full of wisdom, guess what? You can't contain that. It won't be a secret because people will see the amazing things that you talk about, the things that come to pass, and they will come in droves to see you. Kind of like that movie, If You Build Up, They Would Come. I think it was Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner, um, James Earl Jones, and they was trying to build that field in the middle of that baseball field in the middle of the cornfield. They were saying the cornfield, a voice for the cornfield was like, if you build it, they will come. If you're a wise man, a wise woman, and you're telling things that are godly and that God is instructing you to do, people will come just to talk to you, just a chance to see you, just a chance to ask you questions and to learn from your wisdom that's God given. If you're a God fearing man, a God fearing woman, you won't have to whisper. You won't mumble. People will come instinctively to listen to you and to draw from your well of knowledge. Just my 2 cents in this particular show. And I try to be wise. I pray for wisdom. I know I'm not nowhere near wise as Solomon was, but I'm telling you, that's one of the things that I pray for um, consistently: wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, discernment. So today, I'm not going to play a song. Usually, I play a song on Fridays, but I just wanted to touch that. This touched me last night. I would write my notes, my outlines, and just wanted to make sure that I touch base with this wisdom. Wisdom doesn't whisper, and it doesn't mumble. So, hope you have a fantastic weekend. It's cold. It was cold last night. I think it's gonna be cold today in my neck of the woods. I'm not sure where you live at, but if it's cold, make sure you dress warm. Make sure you take care of yourself. There's a lot of sickness and illnesses going around. I got a lot of friends, coworkers at work that are going through some illnesses. Just make sure you do the best thing possible to take care of yourself. Pray to God for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and make sure that you always be good to yourself and good to others as well. So until then, you have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you on Monday morning bright and early, and God bless you.
Danny Graham, he speaks so clear. Love thy neighbor, hold them dear. Bible wisdom every day. God's own path, the only way. On the road to wisdom bright. Follow God through darkest night. Bible's words are guiding light. Marching forward with his might. Hear the stories from above. Jesus' power, pure is love. Trust in him no matter fall. Grace is here for one and all. Oh, with his might. On the road to wisdom bright. Follow God through darkest night. Bible's words are guiding light. Marching forward with his might.